Global Terrorism versus Humanity, Peace and Possibilities. That's the title of this international conference. I'm going to speak on fundamentalism, the dividing line, a case study of Afghanistan. Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished dignitaries, those present on and off stage, and all those who are joining this event virtually. Greetings of peace and harmony to all of you. Let me first congratulate the organizers for bringing so many enlightened minds from within the country and from many other parts of the world to express their viewpoint on global terrorism and its impact on the civil, political, social, and societal order. You have confined your focus on Afghanistan, taking that as a case study. Looking at the given subject, my view is that to discuss global terrorism in absolute terms, the issue has to be unfolded in a much broader and a realistic spectrum. The spirit and vision behind this initiative is that of Dr. Indresh Kumarji, who is Patron in Chief of Muslim Rashtriya Manch, and Professor Geeta Singh, who happens to be the convener of this strategically significant international conference. I greet them and also the large team which is making this mega event possible. Friends, humanity in every age or period passes through multiple evolutions to which we denominate as ideology, philosophy, mission, vision, theory, or a movement. Therefore, this century is having its share in this evolutionary process. These evolutions do cause difference in opinion and conflict of ideas. Friends, democrats allow free debate and discourse, whereas the fundamentalist sticks to his own view and considers that being the only right. He rejects the rest. Remember, truth emerges only through a process of rationalization and aggregation of views. However, multiple stakes, political considerations, allegiance to regional or continental blocs, religious or regional aspirations or discriminations, and even exclusive ideological commitments generate various forms of rifts and conflicts among communities, societies, and nationalities. Conflicts demand nothing but the engagement, dialogue, and timely resolution. While looking at the history of wars, invasions, military interventions, and occupations of sovereign states, what appears quite evident is the imposition of vested will by power centers of the time. Moreover, that happens by use of brutal force, means of coercion, and indoctrination. There are visible attempts compromising human dignity of the subjects in question, the society, community, or nationality. There is even a stretching of the muscles of power to disgrace, deface, and sabotage the value system, culture, and civilization. Agreeing to this insight, one can convincingly argue that under these circumstances, room for extremism builds up in a natural course. Consequently, differences turn into major conflicts. As a student of politics and sociology, when I analyze the rise of extremism, racism, pan nationalism, fanaticism, obscurantism, militancy, guerrilla warfare, or even terrorism, common factor remains the above stated subjects. Afghanistan is no exception. What we need to study and analyze here is not the offshoot. Rather, we have to go into the facts and factors that originate the logic and rationale to indulge in acts of violence and innocent killing by extremists and terrorists. To my mind, friends, the pace at which radicalization, intolerance, and enmity are spreading in various parts of the world, it is high time to concentrate on conflict resolution. And towards that end, my take is as follows. Number one, respect of sovereignty of all states, be they small, big, or too big. Number two, equal and equitable module of treatment to all nationalities, religions, faiths alone can restore human dignity of everyone. Number three, accept the fundamental right of each entity to have its own civilization and its right to subscribe to beliefs, culture, and value systems of its own choice and order. Fourth, a firm national and global declaration is necessary to resolve disputes and conflicts through dialogue under the auspices of United Nations or any other mutually acceptable arrangement. The concept of veto power has to go for the democratic will to finally prevail. Number five, exercising the right of military intervention in sovereign states has to happen through the democratic will of the concerned parties or else through two-third majority votes of all members of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Afghanistan has a history of occupations by great powers of their time. In the past, due to its geopolitical and strategic depth, twice occupied by Great Britain, once by Soviet Union, and the latest by United States of America. All big powers of their time had to retreat and face defeat at the hands of brave Afghans. Now Taliban are at the helm. Their history, unfortunately, is full of blood, killings, and attacks on minorities, women, journalists, and opponents. They have a responsibility to undo all these acts which no civilized order and behavior can ever approve. Respect women and their rights. Accord them both sense of equity and equality and govern the country where all the segments of your society, including the minorities and your political opponents, receive a fair and just deal. The regional neighbors should not feel threatened for across the border acts of violence and terror. Emerge as a peace loving nation as you have been all through. You Afghans have been famous and have been known all over the globe for your hospitality and for your warmth for centuries together. India has already taken lead in sending human supplies along with other nations. Our diplomats and the government are in engagement with the present setup and trying their level best to restore normalcy there. The world as a whole and the international financial agencies and donors are together working out to help the country and its leadership meet the basic needs of its people by setting things in motion to ensure the cycle of progress rolling again. To conclude, I would say that killing of innocent on any pretext, acts of horror and terror in all its forms and manifestations, molestation of women and their dignity, child abuse, and the denial to freedom of faith, belief, expression, and thought are unacceptable. And wherever that happens, the voice of conscience has to take the call for collective engagement. Afghanistan is no exception. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Khwaja Iftikhar Ahmed, President, Interfaith Harmony Foundation of India. This is a forum for interfaith and intercivilizational dialogue floated on behalf of Indian Muslims in 2005. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, listeners, for giving me a good listening. Thank you so much.